Christian, pleasure to see you. Thanks for coming in today.
Good to meet you.
We are interviewing today for an opportunity with Bank of America within our wealth management organization. And based on some excellent feedback that Christian received from Michelle, I got his resume. I thought he was a good fit for our organization and invited him in today. So I just wanted to thank you for coming on in.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, so I wanted to be prepared for today, and I read your resume, and it was wonderful. Tell me something I don't know about you from the one-page resume that I read in preparation for our conversation today.
Something I like to do outside of class is I like to fish a lot. In between classes, I'll even take a break. I'll have a class at 10, get out at 11, run out to the lake for, between 11 and 1 o'clock just to get some time outside. I find that it helps me a lot balance my relaxation time and my work time, especially if I inject some of that relaxation time into part of my day, not having it work all day and then relax at 8 o'clock at night. Being able to do some things that I like to do during the day helps me attack my work later in the day with much more intensity than I could otherwise.
Excellent. Hold that thought. What'd you guys think of that answer? Good, bad, thoughts? I thought it was excellent. He personalized things, okay? He told me that work was important to him, but I learned more about him as an individual. I thought that was an excellent answer. So, in terms of our opportunity, tell me about why Bank of America? You academically, you've done very well. I assume you have lots of choices. Why Bank of America? What about us is important to you?
So as a firm, I've spoken to a couple Colby alum that work there, and not only have they said they've been valued as soon as they hit the desk, but when they think back to conversations like this with people like you, they feel they didn't get the bait and switch. What they were told about the bank and how the bank marketed itself to them is what they're experiencing now when they're on the desk. This is two different kids too, one in investment banking, one in corporate banking. So not even what I'm interviewing for. So that kind of tells me the culture of the firm as a whole, not one particular group.
Right.
And what they've experienced, the main things they've said is how teamwork is integral to how this operation is going to work.
Right.
And they've been able to reach out to senior members for help with extreme ease. And that's kind of what I'm looking for in the type of work environment where, we're not always going to be perfect. We're going to need to reach out for help. And being able to reach out to senior members with ease and having that FaceTime easily accessible is really something I'm looking for.
Excellent. Time out. What'd you think of his answer? Good, bad? Anybody? What'd you think? Okay. I give it a solid B, and I'm tough. Okay, I give it a solid B. When I want to know why someone wants to work for my company, there's two reasons why someone wants to work for my company. Number one, I want to work for the best. You're specifically the best in your sector. You're the best widget company there is. Other widget companies measure their performance based on your performance. So congratulations on a stellar third quarter. Should have mentioned business results, tangible business results, okay? You just beat Wall Street's estimate by 4 cents a share. Congratulations on a stellar performance, okay? So tangible business results, along with what you did very well, speaking about the firm culturally. So when you folks get ready to go in for an interview, okay, two reasons you want to work there. Number one, Jay showed it on a slide before, and I'm a big Patriots fan, right? Lots of pictures of Patriots, guys. Okay, look what they did last night to the Jets. All right? So sorry for the New Yorkers in the audience, okay? Want to work for the best, want to work for the Patriots. Okay, I'm competitive, I want to work for the best. Tangible business results. I want to work for the best that gives back to the communities in which they do business. So I, Christian, was inspired by the fact that Bank of America supports 120,000 nonprofits around the world. That Bank of America gave away last year $60 million in philanthropic endeavors, okay? And also from a tangible business result. Talk to me about the business, okay? Because as you'll see on the slide that's behind us, guys, your interviews are not about your 10 years worth of experience. That's not a problem because you don't have it. So it's about attributes, it's about traits, and there they are. That's what companies are interviewing about. So can you give me some specific examples of when you can say, hey, I've been a leader in the past?
Yeah, so one of the clubs I'm in on campus actually helped run Mayflower Hill Capital.
I saw that. Tell me about that.
It's a selective student-run investment fund on campus. And last spring, elections were coming around, and after I learned so much from the older members of the club and my time in the club, I decided I wanted to be able to give back in a formal role. But aside from that, I thought there were some areas of the club where we could just get more out of it. So I ran for president, and I became president in the spring of my junior year.
Time out. You ran for president. Okay. You were elected president?
Yes.
Leadership. Leadership. I was elected president. My peers. I distinguished myself amongst my peers. Leadership. Outstanding. Continue.
So some of the areas I thought we could improve on, first off, I started mandating some sort of DCF model or valuation accompanying every pitch because of how important valuation is in terms of pitching a stock, and especially we don't really learn that too much in the classes offered at Colby. So I felt this is an area where we can spend some time outside of class and still focus on something that's really going to improve our, skill set for what work's going to be like. And to supplement that, because not everyone learns that in class, I would hold valuation seminars after the meetings to kind of help out younger kids with, what this idea is and how it's important to us. Aside from that, I also created the alumni relations position in the club so that we could update recent graduates with how the fund is doing and make it so that younger members can more easily reach out to MHC-specific alumni.
So you've reached out to alumni on behalf of the club and the organization?
Yes, and we have a new alumni relations officer who's responsible for setting up alumni events for times like these where we can meet up with MHC alumni that may be coming to an event like Paving the Road.
Excellent. Excellent. Answer. Feedback on the answer. Good, bad? I thought it was great. I thought it was great. So there's an expression, if I was right more than 50% of the time, I would move to Las Vegas and make a lot of money, right? So tell me about a time when you were wrong, when you failed, okay?
So the time I failed I was taking a Calculus 3 course with one of the math professors at Colby. And while I wasn't an all-star in the class, he liked my personality, so he asked me to tutor one of his students in his Calculus 1 class. Something I kind of struggled with his class was how theoretical it was taught, and I saw this in his Calculus 1 class, to the point where, in all honesty, I couldn't answer some of the questions, which was one of the most embarrassing moments for me when I'm trying to tutor a kid, and I'm supposed to be the older one that he's looking to for help, and I'm stumped as well. So not only did I feel like I'm wasting this kid's time, I'm wasting my professor's time.
Right.
So what I realized is I have to treat this homework like my homework. So that means before I'm going to tutor this kid, I'm going to read the textbook and learn about the concepts before I go to apply them. I'm going to have meetings with this professor about which concepts confuse me and how I can be a better tutor. And kind of just seeing, here's where I'm weak, and let me attack that issue directly. And being at Colby, being able to reach out to my professor and have that close personal relationship made it a world easier for me.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. What are you looking for generally in an employer? What are you seeking? You're obviously well accomplished, and you're obviously good, so you're going to have some choices. So as you're evaluating different companies, what are you looking for?
Mostly somewhere I can grow. I don't want to be stagnant in my career. I want to be learning things every day when I come to work, and I want to be around people with similar mindsets that not only are looking to learn things from me, but are looking to help out. This is a difficult industry, and especially even in my internship over the summer, there was a lot of times where I struggled and I didn't know where to turn. But being able to look to the guys above me on my team and having that close relationship with them where I can say, hey, I'm really struggling in this area. Can you help me out? That's what I'm looking for, is teamwork, people that are easy to reach out to, and people that are also looking to learn from me because they truly value me.
Excellent answer. Time out. So, okay, bad news. Let me tell you what people with hair my color think of your generation, okay? Stereotype, it's a bad thing. It's a bad thing, but let me tell you, real world. You guys want to get hired on Monday. You want to get promoted on Tuesday. You want raises on Wednesday. You want to work from home Thursday, and you're going to quit Friday, okay? So his job, and what he just did a good job of doing, was convincing me that he's looking for a long-term opportunity. He mentioned growth. He mentioned learning. These are really important things that I want to see. I'm not interested in a rental, okay? Because the reality is, that's the criteria that he's bringing to the table. He's not Jay Allen, who's going to, I would interview Jay Allen very differently, because the minute Jay Allen joins my company, I start benefiting from Jay Allen and his book of business and his contacts. When Christian joins the company, I'm investing, no pun intended, I'm investing in him. And I want to make sure that it's a long-term investment. okay? So when you talk about opportunity, talk about two types of opportunity. The traditional sense of opportunity, if my performance warrants it, which means promotions, advancement, more money, more responsibility, if my performance warrants that type of opportunity, growth. I'm also interested in what I call horizontal opportunity. Horizontal opportunity is what you mentioned, which is being exposed to new things. I like to learn. I like to be exposed to new things. It makes me more valuable to the company, and I'm naturally inquisitive, okay? That makes me as the interviewer think, this guy's gonna stay. Okay, this guy's gonna stay. I'll invest in you. Make sense? Great, keep going. What questions do you have for me? I've been doing a lot of talking. What questions do you have for me?
Being as experienced as you are, if you were in my position, is this the industry you would enter, and why?
Yeah, it is the industry I would enter because it's completely changed. So I graduated, and this is true actually. I'm one of, what'd you say, 2 non-Colby alums that are here?
Not parent.
Not parent alum. Okay, so I graduated Emory just because I couldn't take the weather that you guys take. God bless you. I graduated Emory in 1986. And this industry has changed so dramatically since 1986. I absolutely would join this industry. Why? Because you're helping people. And you're not helping people with buy this and sell that, okay? People can do that on their own, okay? You're helping people solve problems, okay? So you're helping people that did my age, I'm 55 years old, that have done all the right things and saved accordingly and put their money away and saved for retirement. But life threw them a curveball at the end, and they've got elderly parents that they need now have to provide financially for, and they didn't plan to do so. I can help you with that. Okay? I can help you with any challenges from a life perspective that came your way that you weren't necessarily expecting. Hats off to everybody in this room. What time did you guys leave Maine today? What time? 5:30. Hats off to everybody in this room. There are parents that have sent their sons and daughters away at school, and it hasn't gone real well in some cases. And their sons and daughters had to leave their schools, and they didn't get up at 5:30 and put on a tie and come down. That's a curveball that we're throwing these parents. And when you join this industry, you can help them with those unexpected curveballs. So you can really help everybody with whatever curveball life has thrown them. And it's not linear, okay? Life's not linear. And you can help them. So I would absolutely be interested in this profession.
That's awesome to hear that after 30-something years, you're still that passionate about the work that you do.
Absolutely. We love it. Help people.
Awesome.
It's about helping people. What other questions do you have for me?
What would you say is, on the day-to-day basis, the hardest part of your job? And how do you make it easier?
That's a great question. The hardest part of my job being in HR is I'm the steward of talent that comes into the company. We do not sell hard products. We don't sell notebooks. We don't sell cameras. We don't sell, jackets. We sell advice, and advice comes with 2 feet. Okay, so my job is to be a steward of the company, to be very selective on who comes in to impart that advice onto our clients. So that's what I'd say is the toughest part of my job. But it's also the thing I like best about my job.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, because of being an ambassador of the company. Other questions for me?
Not that I can think of right now. If I think of some, I'll shoot you an email, absolutely.
Okay. Time out. Wrong answer. That's all right. You did great. You did great. I'll tell you what why is that a wrong answer, okay? He didn't close me. He didn't close me. It's competitive, okay? This is competitive, guys. So the right answer to that question, here, switch seats. Ask me if I have any other questions for you.
You have any other questions for me?
Just one. First of all, thank you for seeing me today. I appreciate it. I know you're busy, and thank you for seeing me. I got to tell you, this is exactly based on our conversation today, based on the conversations that I've had with the recruiters, based on the networking that I've done. This is exactly what I'd like to do. And Bank of America is exactly the company I'd like to do it on behalf of, for all the reasons that we've discussed. So the only question I have for you, Michael, is Is there anything about me, anything that we've discussed, anything on my resume, any feedback that you've received from anyone thus far that causes you any hesitation about recommending me to continue in this process? Because I, Chris, am extremely interested in continuing with you. That's the close. That's the close. That's so important, guys, because over the course of my career, when I'm done with an interview, I'm not going to pick up my phone and call my assistant and say, please take Christian down to the next, interview, or please walk Christian to the elevator bank. I do it. I do it because your time's important. You came in to see me. And I can't tell you how many times that I've shaken somebody's hand like you at the elevator bank. Thanks for coming in today. And I walk back to my office and I think, she was great. She asked good questions. She had good energy. Culturally, she's a good fit. She was awesome. Now I'm having this, this is in my head, I'm having this conversation. And then I follow it up with, I wonder if she wants to work here. I wonder if she wants to work here, or were we just a sort of a company on her list, and tomorrow she's going to Goldman, and next week she's going to Citi, and a week from Tuesday she's going to Morgan, and she makes notes, and she'll send me a nice thank you note afterwards, because she never said to me what I said to you. Now you didn't tell me, and I'd accept an opportunity if offered, only if that's true. What you've told me is this is exactly what you want to do for the reasons that we've discussed. Do I have any hesitation? And if I do have a hesitation, I said, geez, I wish you had more experience in X. Maybe you do, and we just didn't hit it. So there's an objection that you can overcome right there. 9 times out of 10, someone's going to look at you and say, no. I think you'd be an excellent fit. Great. What's the next step in your process? Okay?
Yep.
That's the right answer to that question. So I'd hire in a heartbeat. Okay?
Good to hear.
Good to hear. Thanks. Yeah, questions? Sure.
You got 10 minutes.
Yep. Questions? Anybody?
So I've got a question.
Yeah, sure. So,
What if, when I'm dreaming of that close, I'm still in the mindset of, not only do I not know if it's Bank of America, Citi, or Goldman Sachs, but I also am interviewing over here with BCG and 4 consulting firms, and over here I'm interviewing to do equity research for 5 investment firms. Now, how do I, in my mind, go for that close
because
if I have not convinced myself that that's exactly what I want to do?
Because your objective in an interview is to keep the process going. Okay? Keep the process going. And ultimately, the final step of that process is going to be, here's your offer. Once you have that offer, I have the power right now. That's the power. I have the power. Your objective through the process is to get the power. And then you can make the determination whether or not, based on the options that you have, whether or not that is what you want to do. Now, don't say that close unless it's true. If you've come in and had a lousy experience with me, or if the job's completely different than you thought it was, then forget it. Then you don't want to keep the process going. Then you thank me for my time, and that was it. But if you truly are interested in the opportunity, keep the process going, which ultimately will be, and here you go. There's the power. There's the 51%. You own it, not me. And then you can make a decision based on a variety of criteria. Everybody's got different things that motivate them toward, whether it's the location, whether it's the salary, whether it's the work, whether it's the opportunity, whether it's the company. I always tell my clients, look, this could be exactly what you want to do in terms of the day-to-day mechanics of the job. But with no disrespect to anybody who smokes in the room, I don't want to work for Philip Morris, okay? Because that's not my values. So if this exact same opportunity was available at Philip Morris, it probably wouldn't interest me, okay?
Understandable.
So that's where you want to keep the process going. And ultimately, you'll have choices. And that's what you want. You want choices, and those choices you'll make in conjunction with parents, with mentors, with professors, with people in your life that you trust, and you'll do what you think is the best, in terms of you and your long-term objective.
All right, so there must be more questions. Michael's interviewed how many people in your lifetime? 5,000 or something?
Oh gosh, yeah,
Right,
a lot.
I know you guys are sitting out there thinking, oh my God, what if they ask me this specific question?
Sure.
Like everybody's got a question that they don't want to hear today. So why don't we throw a couple of those out, and either we'll have Christian tackle them first, or we'll have Michael explain the way to prepare for that.
Go for it.
And
Yeah.
we'll try to get those on the microphone if we can. You have a question?
Yeah, you got a question?
Oh, right there. Say who you are so we know who you are.
I'm Samantha Gould. I'm a junior. What are some current events you've been reading about, and how does that relate to this position you're applying for?
So what are some current events you've been reading about? So, okay, so if we were, if that was a question that I had asked you, what I would want to hear about, especially with the folks in this room, which is, look, 99% of today is going to be about financial services, right? I'd want to read about what's going on with this trade war, you know, in China. And how is this going to affect your business? One of the things you mentioned, and we mentioned about business results, what I want to hear from prospective candidates is, are you still competing against the same firms? You asked me about, you know, I've been here and why I like working, when I do the same thing. Are you still competing against the same companies that you were when you joined? How do you consistently stay ahead of those companies within this space? What's the biggest business obstacle you see facing the company in the next 18 months to 2 years? So that shows that you're current. And within this space, I would want to know, and look, you guys are smarter than me in this space. I would want to know about this trade war with China. What does that mean? What does it mean to the market? What does it mean from a China perspective? Are they just waiting for the election? I don't know. I don't understand it, but that's what I would want to know about.
And to piggyback off of that, I would start off by saying, why is this issue important? Why are we worried about the trade war and how it's weighed on the debt and equity markets? But then give me an example of something you've read, about what's happened recently. I would say, with all we've seen in the trade war, it seems like we might have a little more leverage than we thought, because Huawei is looking to sell its 5G technology to the U.S., where we can be the front runners in that, and Apple's starting to make their Macs in the U.S. now. These are two big developments in the power struggle of this trade war that are going on that will that kind of give us an idea of where are we headed from here. Which direction will this trade war go from here?
Good question. Other questions that anybody have? Oh.
Thank you. My name is Chase Good. I'm a junior. One of the questions that I had and could be hard answering is, could you explain a time when you were part of a group and someone did not participate fully or pull their weight's worth?
Sure. So the question would be asked of you, could you explain when you were in a group and Christian wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing, and how did you address that?
Yes, and what steps did you take to kind of resolve that issue?
Sure. So answer it truthfully. So hey, we had a group project. Actually, you and I were just talking about this when we were outside. We had a group project. It was, we had it for a couple weeks. Everybody had sort of their, delegated areas that they were accountable for, and Susie wasn't doing it. And, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link, and Susie was the weak link. And so the chain was going to bust. So I showed some leadership, and in a professional yet pointed way, along with the other members of the team, explained to her, we had expectations of her. We needed her to meet those expectations. Could she meet those expectations? When was her commitment to meet those expectations? And if she honestly couldn't meet those expectations, we needed to know. Because our objective wasn't to assess blame on her or anything. Our objective was a deliverable. And we couldn't make that deliverable without getting that task, which originally was assigned to her, completed. So this is about our collective objective to hand in quality work. And we'll do a post-mortem afterwards. But we want to know, can you do it? If you can do it, when can you do it by? And if you can't do it, that's okay. But we need to make, alternative arrangements. So we're not just going to walk in and say, hey, we did great, but you know what? She wasn't able to do it. So, here's C-level work. We're not doing that. Make sense?
Thank you. Yeah.
Again, it hits up. That's the criteria right there, leadership, accountability.
That's a great question also, because if anything, that's one of the questions I was hoping wouldn't be asked today.
Sorry. Other questions? Sure.
I'm Ibrahim and I'm a first year. So the question I had was, out of all the candidates that that I've interviewed today, what is special about you that makes you think I should hire you?
Yeah, I mean that again, your job during the interview is really that's a great question. Your job during the interview is really threefold. Number one, it's competitive, so why you? Okay, why you? And then as I said, why the company, and why the company from a business perspective, and why the company from a cultural perspective. What you're asking about is the why you piece. And you've got to really come in and show enthusiasm, understand the company, show me that you've done your research on the company, okay? Be able to articulate to me, again, you're bright, you've gotten through the gatekeepers and so on and so forth. Do you folks know that the email segment was so critically important? Do you know how many resumes, I used to run global hiring for Bank of America. Do you guys have any idea how many resumes were sent in on an annualized basis to bankofamerica.com/careers? Take a guess. Just start yelling out numbers. bankofamerica.com/careers. How many resumes were sent in? 12,000. 12,000. Anybody else?
300,000.
300,000. Anybody else? How many? How anybody else? 1 million. Okay, 2.6 million. 2.6 million resumes. So how do you do it? You do it like you were just shown by email, hey, referred by, so on and so forth. Get in front of that person, show enthusiasm, show you've done your homework, okay? Ask probing questions. The biggest, I think if we can advance the slides, I think one of the slides that I sent to Jay talked about you keep going. There it is. Managers are saying that candidates are just ill-prepared. You've got one shot. You have one shot when you're in front of a decision maker. Make it count. Distinguish yourself. Any other questions?
Awesome.
Good. I appreciate the time.
Thank you, guys.
You guys will do great. You guys are
A big round for Christian for standing up there.
Yeah. You're hired. When can you start?